This week on the Xander Effect, Mario Novelli and Joey Grayson from the Pondhawks talk to us a little bit about their run towards the Grammys.
Well, that's cool. That's cool that you guys have such a long...
And I feature their hit song, River Grove. Also, Hip Hop Artist J-SUNN spends some time with us and talks a little bit about how he got into the world of hip hop, his new single, Up and At It, and what 2020 holds for him.
Who you are, what you're about. You have a few things.
I also feature his music video, Vibin. All this, plus this week in entertainment, sports, and video games starts right now. Hi everyone, welcome to the Xander Effect. I'm your host, Xander Dames. In entertainment news, the trailer for the much anticipated Ghostbusters Afterlife is set to be released on Monday. Now, I'm a Ghostbusters fan. I've been a Ghostbusters fan since I was a little kid. Loved the movie. Wasn't too much of a fan of the one that recently came out. I think that the actresses, they did a great job, but it was missing something. So because of that, I'm excited to see what this rendition of the Ghostbusters is going to be. It is directed and written by Jason Reitman, and because of that, Reitman says that this rendition of the Ghostbusters takes place in Oklahoma, not even in Manhattan. It takes place in Oklahoma in a small little, farm, and it actually picks up where Ghostbusters 2 left off. So that should be a very interesting rendition of it. It follows a mom and her kids, and what happens is that they somehow figure out that they're connected somehow to the Ghostbusters. So it should be a very interesting rendition of it. Of course, a lot of the original cast will come back to reprise their roles. You have Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Sigourney Weaver, and Annie Potts that will be reprising their roles from the original characters of Ghostbusters 1 and 2. And in this one stars Carrie Coon, McKenna Grace, Finn Wolford, and Paul Rudd. So this is going to be a really cool, rendition of the Ghostbusters. I'm looking forward to it because it seems that you always ask the question as to what happened to all of them after part 2. So seeing that this picks up where part 2 left off, it's going to be interesting to see exactly what kind of ghosts, what kind of connection they all have together with the Ghostbusters. And man, I'm excited for the trailer. Ghostbusters Afterlife is set to be released in 2020. In other entertainment news, I had the opportunity to interview a really up-and-coming rock band that have been together for many years and have turned a lot of faces. They actually just recently made it through the first round of the Grammys. They're making their way to the Grammys, and they just hit top 10 alternative rock bands of 2019 at number 4 on the TRV countdown list, edging out the Foo Fighters and Pearl Jam. Green Day came in at number 1. So this band is definitely a band to take notice on. But before the interview, I'll be showcasing their music video, River Grove, by the Pondhawks. Check it out.
Now, here we go. Ready? All right. Yeah, I turned it up.
mind flows a timeless river that winds through an endless forest, a moonlit prairie path that always takes me back. As it echoes the trail before us, all the people, times and places, unforgotten voices, sounds and faces, and those railroad ties roll back to early times of my childhood oasis. And I'll remember River Road as all my yesterdays unfold. There's serenity still reaches out to me, the home I call my own, River Grove. And when I dream at night, the past comes back to me, into a twilight right throughout eternity. Back into your arms upon the What defines us never leaves us. Our dreams are distant but never fading. And though the years have passed, the love will always last. They're the ghosts of our memories waiting. And I'll remember River Road as all my yesterdays unfold. Been my destiny and will forever be the home I call my own, River Grove. I said the home I call my own, River Grove. Take me home again to my River Grove.
So with me on the Xander Effect right now, I have members of the band, the Pondhawks. How y'all doing today?
Doing great. Hi.
How you doing, buddy? Hey, thanks for having us on the show. We really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate it myself. And you guys are currently right now in Chicago right now, right?
Yeah, actually a little suburb just outside Chicago called River Grove.
Wow. How's the weather over there? It's got to be freezing right now over there.
It's a balmy 37, 38.
They're wearing shorts.
Oh, darn. We're in a balmy, 70 or so, 65.
Rub it in.
It's like that. Us too, except indoors.
Indoors.
It is.
Okay.
Outdoors is much worse.
Well, I thought you were gonna say, you two, except the opposite. So that could work too. So the Pondhawks, you guys have gotten a huge following on social media. You have a lot of likes. Let's talk about before we get into that. Plus, also, you made it through the first round of the Grammys. We'll get into that as well in a second. But first, I want to know, Pondhawks, the name of the band. That's a very unique. I've never heard of a band named Pondhawks. Where did the name come from?
Let me tell you, actually, a pondhawk is another name for a dragonfly.
Ah,
And actually a species of dragonfly. And we came up with the logo long before we came up with the name. We had like 48 hours to come up with the name. We had some gigs booked, and the people were like, well, what can we put on this carnival poster? And I go, oh, give us a second, give us 24 hours. And Jory's out of town. I says, what do you think? I'm sending her back and forth with the logo, and I go, what do you think? electric dragonflies, and she's like,
No.
nah. So we're both like big into nature and stuff. So I'm like probably the only guy around that's got a book on dragonflies.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
So
It's
I'm like,
true.
but the cool thing was the dragonfly. Everybody else, was like had some scientific name to these different dragonflies and stuff. And this was like Pondhawk. Hey, the hawk of the insect world. He skims along the surface and catches mosquitoes. So we got it, Pondhawks, and it's kind of a double entendre there because we're on the other side of the pond, so we're the Pondhawks. We have good following across the pond.
Oh, yeah.
So that makes sense. Well, that makes a lot of sense. So how did all of you get together to create the Pondhawks?
Well, Jor and I were in another band, which kind of imploded, and we just picked up the ashes and built around it. And I had some friends of ours, musicians. We've been in the music biz for a while, so you meet a lot of people and people you've always wanted to play music, create music with, and it's kind of formed. And of course, like any band, it has its natural half-life and metamorphosis it goes through. And but the main thing is we've been together for over 13 and a half years. Yeah,
now.
Wow.
We've been writing songs together.
And I still hate you.
You see, respect, Mike.
There's a hey, it's like Rodney Dangerfield said, no respect. I tell you, no respect at all.
I'll tell you.
Well, that's cool though. That's cool that you guys have such a long relationship. There are many bands that don't last more than 2 years, 3 years before they break up. So, I mean, and you two, I mean, you kind of have a band within a band, like between the two of you here. So that's pretty cool that you guys have been, together. How did you two meet to start, actually doing music together?
Well, I invited Jory to our place we used to rehearse at. We would rent with the old band, and I had a friend that, Jory did actual photographs of Paul McCartney that he used one on his album. And so I had bought some of these photographs at a Beatle Fest, and I thought she was a salesperson. She's writing
I had
on
an
the thing.
exhibit there, of my photographs.
Yeah,
Nice.
so elaborate on that a bit.
Well, yeah, I am a rock photographer. My photos have been like in People, Newsweek, Rolling Stone, and I got to photograph Paul McCartney many, many times over many years, and I actually wound up doing a book that's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame called Paul McCartney. I saw him standing there, Billboard Books.
Wow.
But so I'm always doing lectures at the Beatle convention about Paul McCartney. So I do have my photographs there, and that's when Mario came by.
Yeah, and I saw this photo. It was like the Flowers in the Dirt tour. It was 89-90 of Paul's, and it was the last song of the last night. And I was there at Soldier Field in Chicago. That's where the Bears played.
Stop,
Oh,
Bears.
The Bears. The Bears.
I'm a Packer fan, by the way, so I'll hold that against you.
Hey, no problem.
We're Cub fans.
Ah,
But anyways, no, God bless the Bears. We still have a little chance. They have two chances, slim and none. But besides that, so anyways, I had to have this photo, and she's like, it was like $70. I said, $70. Oh, that's okay. It's back, and I didn't know. I'm checking how much have I got on me.
It's on the
And
wall.
so
over
it's,
there.
it's hanging on the wall right over there. But she goes, "You seem like a good guy. Give me 35." And I go, "Hey, thanks. I hope you don't get in trouble for it, lady." So she starts signing the matting around it. And I think she's writing the price out. I'll be $35.99. And I go, wait, no, wait a minute.
Writing
Don't
across
write
Paul's
on that. I
face.
just bought
I'm
that.
writing on Paul's face.
Just now, I took this photo, and it's like, okay. So then I go, well, I've got a friend that actually was asked to film Paul with video, follow him around for 48 hours. And he goes, man, I got all this great footage that was not shown. He didn't use. He used it for his, what's the Space Within Us?
Yeah, DVD.
A DVD. And he had all this extra footage. He goes, I'll stop by the rehearsal hall and play it. And I says, well, if you'd like to see this, I figured I'll be the fly on the wall. I just want to sit and watch these two people, you know, her being the still photo and him being the videographer.
Yeah.
Randy Reeson, his name is. He shot our first video as the Pondhawks, the Midnight Howl video. He shot that. And so I'm going to be the fly on the wall. Sit back. Okay, this is cool. And all of a sudden the band rolls in and says, hey, we're going to have a rehearsal tonight. It was a Sunday night. We had a big gig coming up on that Friday. They want to go over a few things. I said, okay, let me wrap it up here. And Jory hung out for a while. She goes, oh, you got a band? I go, yeah. I go, hope you don't mind. We just got to go over a few things. I saw her sitting on the side. She's sitting on by the monitor. And I see her, you know, mouthing along with some of the covers we're doing because you're only going to do 2-3 hours. Plus, we didn't do as many originals back in the day. And so I said, why don't you come up, share my mic? And she's singing beautiful. I mean, pinpoint, perfect harmony. She's singing along with the radio all these years. She didn't realize how good she really was. And I was like, I go, wow. And her voice sounds like mine because we both got that, I don't know.
The timbre.
Kind of a timbre kind of thing in there. Like we could be related.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in some states we may be. You never know. Brother and sister, Phil and Donna. No. But, so I says, hey, we got a gig. It's Sunday. We got a gig Friday, 2-hour gig. Why don't you join the band, do the gig? And she's like,
are you crazy?
and I showed her the papers that prove I wasn't anymore. You know, they give you those. No,
right.
just joking. And anyway, so she did the gig, and the rest is history. Next thing you know, a couple weeks later, she goes, I got a friend up in Minnesota. He needs a jingle for his radio station. Her and I
we did the jingle.
Came out real quick, and I go, we recorded it real quick, and I says, this is great. It was a great chemistry, and you can't put your finger on a chemistry. It just happens or it doesn't.
Yeah. No, that's just the way. When it comes to bands, that's the whole thing. You either have the chemistry or you don't. Obviously, both of you had the chemistry from the very beginning, so that's pretty cool. The music that you guys that the band makes is very unique sounding, but you call it mainly like it's popish, but there's another name you use for it.
You told us not to swear on the air, didn't you? Oh, you mean the other name used for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some people call it Beatlesque.
Beatlesque, yeah. I mean, I was actually when I listened to your video, it kind of sounded a little bit folky, I guess, like folksy, I guess you might call it. Yeah. You know, something with a little bit of rock and roll mixed in there, like folk rock in a sense.
Right. That's the River Grove.
The River Grove. You're talking about River Grove.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That we did, you know, because we actually can do many different genres. And we did the song, the hometown, and we had to do a little more folkish kind of, because, you know, kind of the Americana folk type pop music.
Right.
But in general, it's mostly rock and roll, right?
You know, it runs.
It's just everywhere. It's just everywhere. You pick one.
It's like
we have psychedelic and
schizophrenic pop.
Yeah,
you know, it's all over the board.
Schizophrenic. I like that. Schizophrenic rock.
I'm going to coin the phrase right now. Schizophonic.
There you go.
Recorded schizophonic stereo.
There's a new genre.
There it is. There it is. Cool. And so, well, now this year's been very cool, like very good to you because you guys have made it past the first round of the Grammys. Tell me how you feel about that.
Oh, you know, it's a great honor because, you know, to be just accepted, your music and getting on the ballot, that's, you know, one of the best things. So we're happy, that we, you know.
We're honored. Anybody even wants to listen to it. I mean,
yeah, right.
Still, I mean, really.
Well, I mean, you have
if one person digs it,
that's
it.
That's all.
That's it.
Well, I mean, you have over 600,000 likes on your social media, and you have so many like people that are following and stuff like that. So I would think that a few people like you.
They do.
Unless it's just one guy with 604 personalities. Then we're stuck.
Then it gets a little bit weird at that point.
Yeah, right.
So
that would describe all the mail we've been getting from the same address now.
That's crazy stuff. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the type of the lyrics that you guys have for a lot of your music right now. Your new single "Afraid of Love" is pretty much something that's a lot of people are talking about. Where did that song exactly come from? Like what made you write that type of music, those lyrics for that song particularly, especially the title "Afraid of Love"? You know, many people would say, somebody's afraid of love, judging by the title.
We all are.
Yeah.
So tell me,
we're afraid of rejection is what we're afraid of,
that's true.
which is why they're afraid of love. They're afraid of the rejection. I'll be thinking maybe somebody that, and when you write a song, when we write songs, it's a combination of so many people, so many different people we've met, and say, you see different, and you kind of blend them in because it's really about nobody in particular. Originally, you notice we use metaphors, we use different colors for different moods or emotions in that particular song. Angry red inside your head, envy green, and the blue, and so that part of the song in the beginning of the verses was originally a song we had written just a year or so earlier called Mojo, and which we never used because the choruses were just horrendous. They were terrible. So I said, well, you write something. Let's put these, chuck these away.
Start over.
And then so we started and we wrote this the melody and the chords, and then the chorus was real good, and I was like, kind of need something for that. I go, oh my, wait, dig out that stuff. We both look at it and we says, this is it. So of course it's not going to fit in, like a hand in a glove. You got to massage the lyrics a little bit so they fit the cadence.
Right, the music, because sometimes we write the music first, and sometimes we write the lyrics first. So this time we had kind of a combination.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was a combo.
And do you both write the lyrics together, or does the entire band, put in their 2 cents, for the lyrics? Or who?
It's us.
It's us. We write the songs.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. And then otherwise, and they're great writers, and they're all great people, great writers, but their projects. Everybody's got their own projects too. But great people, great musicians. But it's just something we've been doing a long time, and we've got such a backlog of songs. I mean, it'd be kind of there's a car going by.
I heard that.
We're inside a photo mat.
No.
Okay.
No, actually, we record in here. We had to record really late at night because the cars are going by, and then there's a bar.
Yeah, and this isn't the vocal room.
And they get really rowdy and start screaming out there. I'm like,
but everything in the room you hear us in now, everything here goes direct, line into the console. We have a vocal room in the back, which is more.
Nice. Well, I mean, aside from that, since you guys have been doing this music for so long, the band was actually formed in 2007. Since then, have you done a lot of touring?
Not a lot of out-of-state touring. Some.
Yeah.
We relish any time we get the chance to play. I don't care if it's for 8,000 people, which we do have an annual gig. We do it. Has about 8,000 people, and or if it's for somebody in the living room, if it's a house gig, if it's for a bar, if it's an acoustic gig, whatever.
We'll play anywhere.
That's cool. Well, I mean, and so now that 2019 is almost over, 2020 is just around the corner. Will there be any out-of-state touring, any more out-of-state touring, or would you like to go a little bit further than you've gone with your music and go to different places to perform?
Absolutely.
For sure.
But that's gonna end up being I mean, I don't know for sure, but I mean, I think a lot of people here in California would love to hear you. So
we'd love to be heard.
Well, we're looking for a Brian Epstein.
Yeah,
so
That can work. That can work. So okay. So now, what's the plan for 2020? I can't even talk right now. What's the plan for 2020?
Right to the liquor store, man, before the sales are over.
We're working on new music.
Yes.
Another album?
Well, here's the thing. We've been working on, the last few, we've been doing singles, because we always did albums. Right now, we're currently working on 5 different songs at the same time. And by the way, when you talk about input, the talented people in the group, Sammy Svita, Anthony Melnick, just great guys. Yeah, they all put. I say, hey, what do you think of this? You got to throw some drum thing in there. If you don't like it, you tell me, because they're professionals.
Right.
And if they've got something, Michael Gillespie, who's with us since the beginning, he lives out of state, but he'll fly in and record on a track. Once a Pondhawk, always Pondhawk.
Nice.
We're here. We're tight.
Nice. So, take for example, you get a phone call from, like, let's just put it this way: you get a phone call from a famous artist that wants to do music with you. Ideally, who would you want that artist or band to be to give you that phone call? Alive. Not dead.
Somebody alive, right?
Somebody alive, not dead.
Wow.
For me, it'd be Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney, for sure.
That would be good for starters.
Grand dude. Yeah.
Michael Nesmith.
Good choices. Well, I mean, the way your music, the way your style is, I wouldn't be surprised if that were to happen anytime soon. Trust me. I mean, I've heard some of your songs. I mean, right now you're already one step further to get into the Grammys. That's going to give you a lot more attention than you already have. So I wouldn't be surprised if eventually, you started collaborating with a lot of big artists in the near future.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, we'd love it.
I have a feeling we did get a call from a major artist. It'd probably be a cease and desist. One of those.
On that note, I want to thank both of you very much for being on the Xander Effect, the Pondhawks, members of the Pondhawks band. I hope that you guys make it out to California. I'd love to see you guys live. I'd love to go ahead and.
Well, we love California.
Yeah, we do.
California would love to have you here. Let me tell you that right now. But
thank you for having us, man.
Thank you very much, and we'll definitely talk soon. I'll go ahead and do a follow up when your next year when your next album drops.
Great, thanks. And like I say, we're working on 5 songs right now. Currently, we want to put them together and eventually come out with a vinyl album.
Oh yeah,
just vinyl.
That'd be cool.
People
You don't see many. You don't see many of those anymore.
No,
It's
psychedelic
coming
plastic.
back.
Oh God, my dad's got a full collection, like a full collection. It's crazy how many vinyl records he has. He's got the Beatles in kind of like a folded up thing. Bee Gees, a bunch of them. Like he's that's my inheritance. So
Damn Bee Gees.
Yeah. A big album. Now this is just something I heard. I heard back in the day, some of the bad kids in the neighborhood would open up the albums and they'd sort their stuff out.
Right?
I heard
yeah,
that.
Yeah, right.
We used to put the aluminum foil on there, and then we'd sit out in the sun, like that.
Oh, there you go. Get tan.
Yeah.
That's a smart thing to do. Well, again, thank you very much to the Pondhawks for being on the Xander Effect, and I look forward to talking to you guys very, very soon.
Thanks. Thank you so
Peace out.
much.
Thanks so much, Mario and Jory, for being on the Xander Effect, members of the Pondhawks. I look forward to what you got coming up in 2020, and I look forward to much more of your music in the coming year. In other entertainment news, the 10-year beef between Eminem and Nick Cannon is getting even hotter. Looks like Eminem is going to be in Fat Joe's latest album, Family Ties, and he has a song in there entitled Lord Above, where he talks about Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey. Obviously, we all know that Eminem had a little bit of a dating. He dated Mariah Carey briefly early on in his career, and of course, we know that Nick Cannon married Mariah Carey and had children with her. So It looks like Eminem and Nick Cannon still don't like each other. It's been over 10 years and they still don't like each other. And the proof is in the pudding, seeing as Eminem decided to go ahead and write these particular lyrics in Lord Above. I know me and Mariah didn't end on a high note, but that other dude's whipped. That pussy got him neutered. Try to tell him this chick's a nut job before he got his jewels clipped. Almost got my caboose kicked. Fool quit. You not gonna do shit. I let her chop my balls off too before I lost to you, Nick. Obviously, man, shots have been fired. This is getting really hot between the two of them. Who knows where this is going to lead to? Obviously, Nick Cannon is a very vocal person. He also talked about his relationship with Kim Kardashian while she's been married to Kanye West. And Kanye had a few choice words to Nick Cannon, basically saying, why don't you talk to me like a man? Why you got to go ahead and make things so public? It's definitely Nick Cannon has definitely crossed paths with other artists as well. But this is getting deeply personal between him and Eminem, seen as, Mariah Carey is his ex-wife and they do have children together. So this right here could get even deeper as the months go on, especially with this new album that Fat Joe's putting out. It's very public, it's getting very hot, and who knows what's going to happen next for them two. In other entertainment news, talking about hip hop, I got the opportunity to sit down and talk to up-and-coming hip hop artist by the name of J-SUNN, and he has a new single coming out December 10th called Up and At It. So we got a chance to talk a little bit about that, a little bit about his past music, and what's to come in 2020 for J-SUNN. Check it out.
I have with me on the Xander Effect, hip hop artist J-SUNN. How you doing, man?
How you doing out there, buddy?
Another day in paradise. You're in SoCal, right?
Yes.
So you gotta love the weather already,
I love the weather. I love the weather, but right now it's kind of cold and kind of rainy. But it's excellent weather for sure.
That's a good thing because we need a change of pace. Because my God, we just keep on getting sunny day after sunny day after sunny day. It gets boring,
It was hot as hell for a minute. For sure.
All the way up until probably early October or late October even. It was like, What the hell's going on? But anyways, we're not here to talk about the weather. We're here to talk about, who you are, what you're about. You have a few things going on. You were obviously raised here in Cali. You started out in Compton.
Yes.
And, like many, many great hip hop artists, they also start out in Compton as well, and you started out mainly just, promoting a clothing line. That's how you started, right?
Right. I started off with clothing lines, Connected, a shoe line called Luxury Kicks, different types of brands. I was just doing modeling for them, just doing some modeling and promo ads for articles and magazines. And that's how I started right there, actually.
So how did you get involved in that type of industry to begin with?
I was at an event. I had a performance, a small little performance. This is when I barely tried music. I had opened up for RBX and Mac 10. And It was an Asian company, a Japanese company rather, called Luxury Kicks. They spotted me and said, "Hey, you have a good look. Would you mind modeling our clothes?" We went from different types of catalogs, the magazines. We almost made the double XL. But I ended up branching off from them.
Oh, okay. So, but in the midst of this modeling and everything, you got linked up with Nick Cannon.
Yeah, I did a clothing line for him. He had a clothing line called Stop Hating. Mm-hmm. And it was Nick Cannon, Shantae, which is Snoop Dogg's wife, Raz B from B2K. They were all in that branding of clothing. And they picked me to be one of their models, and I ended up hooking up with Nick Cannon, and Nick Cannon hooked up with Nick Cannon's brother. I got a song actually with him too. Shout out to Nick Cannon's brother. He's his name is Gabriel Cannon. He's pretty dope too. We have a single that we're working on too.
Cool. So you got involved with that, and then from there, from what I understand, you went into acting. It's funny because you didn't even go straight to music or anything like that. You went from modeling to acting, and then it was music. So let's talk about a little bit about the acting portion of it.
Initially with the acting, ended up getting like a rep named Ryan Torres. Back then, this was like maybe 2007, 2006. I was going out for extra work, and then I ended up being the main focus of certain things. Like I did a couple independent films where I had some roles, and I did like a major where I had a little prop position. So I've done a couple things in active field. First Sunday, different ones, various ones actually.
So are you still? But I mean, are you still in the acting world, or are you now completely focused on your music?
I'm completely focused on my music, but it's a movie coming out in 2020 that's going to be coming out called Young Again, and that movie comes out 2020, the beginning of the year. We actually shot that movie, believe it or not, like 2013. Wow. So it's barely going to come out 2020. They've been pushing the dates back, but that's going to be the latest thing that people see me in.
Nice. Well, now let's get to the nitty gritty of this interview, which is your music. You know, we've gone through everything that we've gone through. You started, you released your first single, Drop Top, and that was featuring Chris Brown's artist Bobby Love and DJ Charisma.
Yes.
How did that all? I mean, because you're already involved in the movie industry. How did you get linked up with Chris Brown's artists?
Well, Chris Brown's artist has been a friend of mine for so many years. Actually, a friend of my family since we were yay high, since we were kids, like very, very young. And we grew up together. And he ended up getting an opportunity to work with Chris, write songs for him. He's wrote numerous songs. He wrote Supposed to Be. He's written so many songs for Chris, but he gave me an opportunity like, hey, J-SUNN, I got a hook. I want you to write something for it. And I wrote it, and we submitted it to Charisma. She liked it. DJ Charisma, Power 106 out here. She liked it. Got a little distribution deal for it for like 2 years. Made a little bit of noise right there, but it wasn't our coming out. It wasn't our coming out party yet. It was time for J-SUNN to come out and rebrand itself and come out with something new.
So that's why you you're now have a latest single with DJ Versatile, and it's called Up and At It.
Right.
That's the one that's going to be coming out. It's coming out soon, right?
Yeah, it's December 10th. Actually, we have the specific date, December 10th. We're releasing on all platforms.
Nice. So, I mean, at this point, you have that coming out. But this is just a single. Are you working vigorously on your album right now?
EP. I'm working on an EP, a strong EP. The follow-up song, you guys hear this Up and At It is sweet, but the follow-up song, get ready. You guys gonna move. Everybody's gonna move.
So tell me, how did you come up with the lyrics? What was the concept of Up and At It? Like, what basically made you want to go ahead and do this particular song and make this one your single to start things off for you?
I think Up and At It had a chill vibe. It was something that we all could relate to, because Up and At It is something that we do every day. Whether you get up and go to school and get at it, get up and at it and get to work. You get up and at it and get good grades. You get up and at it to be the best you can be. Up and at it means to get up and get a rhythm and get to it. And that's what we all do every day. Every day, what you're doing right now, you got up and you got up and at it. So I try to translate that into something good and make it a good sound, make it something that everybody can vibe to. Not only make a catchy beat, but have it have a meaning, have the song have a meaning to where people say, hey, it is good to get up and at it. I don't feel like going to school today. Oh, let me put this song up and at it. I'm going to get that motivation I need to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so, well, I mean, if that's, since that's how you write, that's how you wrote the lyrics for this one, is that how you usually write for all your music? I mean, is your inspiration basically inspired by the everyday things that people have to do in order to like keep going with life and just everything in general?
It's just everyday life struggles, everyday parties. I just think of just things that happen on a daily. Life struggles, tragedies. These are things that we can't ignore. They're here. Happiness, sadness. We think about just all those and whatever mood I'm in. All right, but I always start off with a good, strong hook to make me the core of the song for sure.
Did you always grow up thinking that you were going to do this, or is this something that just happened, just occurred?
No, I didn't always think I was gonna do that, because my motivation was the women. It was the women. But then as I started doing it, I actually fell in love with the passion of writing. Like, if I can do this every day and just write for people, You know what I mean? But this is not, what this has nothing to do with me being an artist. This has something to do with just the passion of writing. I love to see people deliver certain hooks, deliver certain sounds, deliver certain punchlines, metaphors. Like I can write pretty much anything.
So, I mean, you know, are you writing just for yourself? Obviously, you've written for other people. Are you going to continue to write for other artists, or are you now, is this all about J-SUNN right now to go ahead and get his stuff going?
Right now, it's just about me. I've taken my time with that situation. Now I feel like, hey, let me come out the closet, let me come out, open the doors, and let people show them what I have. You know what I mean? Show people what I have.
Excellent. So now that you're going to start, you know, growing and growing, obviously, you know, this is a platform that's going to start making you grow more and more in this industry. Who would you want to go ahead and work with? Who would you want to do a collaboration with?
I like Rihanna. I like Dave East. A lot of people are sleeping on that guy, Dave East. I don't know if you heard of Dave East, but he's out of the East Coast. He's really, really a good artist. He's actually Nas artist, very poetic, strong lyrics, strong content. Of course, I would love to work with Chris Brown. He's so consistent, and he's all over. No matter what he's been through or what transitions, he always finds a way back to what made him who he is.
And well, I mean, but right now you're already starting to work with some pretty big names. I mean, you're working with, you know, Nick Cannon's brother. You know, you're working with him. And who else are you working with right now that's a pretty big name or are you in talks with possibly? Can you mention, or are you keeping that on?
I cannot mention, but let's just say we have a possibility with Rap A Lot Records.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually really cool.
It's just, I'm throwing that in there. We have a possibility. It's Rap A Lot West. They actually they branched out to the West, so they're doing their thing out in the West now.
Okay. So we're getting closer and closer to the end of 2019. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you know, you have the single coming out 2019. Already your year's starting to begin to come out pretty well. You know, you have a movie that's going to be coming out in 2020. What else do we have to look forward to in 2020?
We got a tour we're gonna be doing. Not possible, we got a tour we're gonna do. It's gonna be a small tour, but we got maybe a 10-city tour that we're doing. We're gonna stop by Hot 97 actually. More music, more shows. We actually got some festivals we're gonna.
Lost you again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
We're actually moving in 2020. We have a lot of things. You know, the grand entrance is that single right now. Mm-hmm. What I'm loving about the single, it's one of those songs that's going to walk you right into January 1st. January 1st, you put that on, it's gonna be a good groove. I'm telling you.
So do you feel that like things are moving like too fast, or are they moving exactly the way you want them to move?
So put it like this: you go to sleep at night, you wake up, you get a call, you get a text. That's how fast it's moving. So I would want to say it's moving pretty fast. Like, you wouldn't know your schedule sometime for the next day, but you wake up and, okay, here's the things to do. Okay, wow, you got to show here, you got to be here, you got to do this. Like, it happens, and when it happens in a speed of light, for sure.
Up and at it, right?
Up and at it.
Cool, man. And so, do you got any shows, any live shows that you're going to be doing?
Yeah, I have a show next week. As a matter of fact, I had a show yesterday. It was I want to say like a weed sesh. I got another one coming up next week. I got a big event tomorrow night with Mario Lopez at a mansion. So I got a big event there tomorrow night in Hollywood Hills, California. So it's just a lot of things going on. Like every day, you know, what I'm trying to focus on mostly is getting a little rest so I can just get to these things. You know what I mean? So even if I can squeeze an hour in, 2 hours, 3 hours, then that's what I do, you know?
Well, make sure you get all that rest because, you know, it is the holiday season. Christmas is just around the corner, and it's just going to get tougher and tougher as the months go by, J-SUNN.
Right. And you know what? Hey, if I was complaining that I didn't have this, then that would be a problem. But I'm complaining in a good way. I'm not even complaining. I'm just grateful. It's the fruits, you know, and I'm grateful for every one of them.
Awesome, J-SUNN. Well, I look forward to, like, you know, your next music video coming out. You know, I look forward to more music that you have going on. You have a great sound. You have, I've heard a couple of your songs. They're really, really good. I'm looking forward to, listening to more and hopefully maybe going to one of your shows and, giving you, having a chat with you at one of your shows. That'd be great.
I'll send for you. Exactly. I want you at one of my shows. No problem. Definitely.
Awesome. Well, J-SUNN, thank you so much for being on the Xander Effect. And I look forward to talking to you soon.
All right. Appreciate you. Have a blessed day today.
You too, man.
Thanks a lot, J-SUNN, for being on the Xander Effect. I look forward to hearing more of your music and going to one of your shows and having a sit-down talk with you so we could go ahead and follow up to see what you've been up to in the coming months. In sports, Antonio Brown, former wide receiver of, let's see here. Let's count it down here. The Steelers, then the Raiders, and then finally the Patriots before he was let go by the league after allegations came out that he was threatening a person that accused him of rape. That investigation is still ongoing, but Brown went on Instagram and posted something basically of an apology saying, first and foremost, I'd like to apologize to my family, friends, and anyone who I offended. I never once meant to make anyone feel like I wasn't thankful and appreciative of the opportunity that I was afforded to play the game I love. I've worked hard over the years to earn a chance to compete in the greatest game on earth. Over the years, I was met with challenges, and I can honestly say I didn't handle those challenges in the manner that I should have. Over the past few weeks, I've had the opportunity to think about everything that's transpired, and I'm deeply sorry to all who I've offended. While my behavior was inexcusable, sometimes when people are coming at you with false information and allegations, we handle ourselves in ways that we sometimes regret. I do take full responsibility for my actions, and I'm working every day to repair what I broke. I do know that if I'm ever given the opportunity to play the game that I love, I'm going to work extremely hard to show the world how much I appreciate another chance. To the organizations that I offended, I offer my sincere apology to you, and my hope is that you forgive me and help me move on from this minor setback. I look forward to competing and helping a team reach their goals. Now, AB, let me tell you something, man. Honestly, I really wouldn't put too much hope that you'll come back to play for the NFL, seeing as you kind of rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. First with Oakland, you kind of screwed them over in the contract. And then, of course, there was that whole situation with the coach, basically allegations that you had recorded conversations about the coach. That also rubbed people the wrong way. And then finally, when you got an opportunity to be a part of one of the top teams in the NFL, the Patriots, you squandered it by threatening your accuser that you were in the middle of an investigation with. How do you think that's going to look into the eyes of not only the league, but the rest of the public? Now, the NFL is known for being squeaky clean, or at least trying to be as squeaky clean as they can. So what makes you think that they're actually going to consider this reach, this apology? What makes you think they're going to reconsider you to come back? I highly doubt that the league is going to see that and say, he's learned his lesson. We sent him to his room. He thought about what he did. Let's go ahead and give him another chance. I don't know, man. I really honestly don't think that they are going to be seeing things your way. But hey, you never know. Crazier things have happened. Who knows what's going to happen in the upcoming months, and who knows what's going to happen. All of this is, of course, provided that the investigation to this rape situation is closed and everything, and you come out squeaky clean. But then again, there's the drama that follows after that, man. I mean, you've done a lot, you've burned a lot of bridges, and who knows if those bridges are able to be repaired. We'll see what happens. In other sports news, tonight is Combate America's pay-per-view, coming out party, pretty much. It's their premiere of, pretty much showcasing their fighters to the public. And their main card is Tito Ortiz versus Alberto El Patron Rodriguez. Now, formerly known Alberto Del Rio from the WWE. He was a former champion in the WWE. He was a former wrestler in the WWE. He also went in the Indies. He also wrestled for in a lucha or promotion down in Mexico. So he is going to be fighting one of MMA's top athletes, former UFC Hall of Famer, former UFC champion Tito Ortiz. He has fought the best of the best in this industry. He has just come off the heels of winning his third fight against Chuck Liddell. He's already lost to Chuck Liddell twice. This was his way of making up for those two fights. And he was ready to retire. He was ready to go ahead and hang up his gloves and say, you know what, I'm done. But here comes Alberto Rodriguez, pretty much talking smack to Tito Ortiz because of the fact of the matter that Ortiz has been very public on the fact that he is a Trump supporter. Now, being that Ortiz is Latin American, and being that Alberto is Mexican American, basically, he didn't like the fact of the matter. He sees Ortiz as a traitor to the Latin community and all this other stuff, allegedly. So this is the fight. Tonight is the fight between the two of them, and Alberto Rodriguez. He's no slouch when it comes to MMA. He has a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He comes from a wrestling pedigree. One of his family members is Mil Máscaras. He knows what he's doing in the ring, and he may know what he's doing in MMA. So the test will be against one of MMA's top athletes, which is Tito Ortiz, and we'll see how this fight ends. If it ends with Tito Ortiz, obviously the odds are in favor of Ortiz beating Rodriguez. So we'll see exactly where this match will go, and if they'll even shake hands at the end of it. Because sometimes these promotions, there are a lot of smack talk, and they go off their separate ways, and they're cool with each other. They leave it all in the octagon ring, whatever you want to call it, and they move on. But who knows? I mean, that wasn't necessarily the case between Ortiz and Ken Shamrock for a very long time. That was another rivalry he had. So we'll see what happens tonight. Combate America's pay-per-view premiere is tonight. In other news, in video game news, Star Wars Battlefront 2 has many DLC. It has a DLC that's out right now, and man, it's going to be awesome. This DLC is set for 2 years. There's 2 years of downloadable content in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Basically, it reads, as soon as you purchase the game, it reads, thank you and congratulations. Congratulations, you now own 2 years worth of customization content in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Equip more than 350 items, with over 150 of those being appearances for heroes, troopers, and reinforcements. From your collection screen right now, and there's more. On December 17th, 2019, new appearances for Finn, Rey, and Kylo Ren, inspired by Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, will be added to your inventory. Thank you for being part of the Star Wars Battlefront 2 community. Woo, that's a lot. That is a lot to handle. That is a lot of downloadable content that Star Wars Battlefront 2 will be providing for all of us. And so far, I mean, I've seen a couple of the troopers, and they look pretty cool. Actually, I'm actually looking forward to seeing since it's 2 years of content. You know that they're going to be adding stuff here and there in the upcoming months. Star Wars is kind of going the same way Rainbow Six Siege went with their season pass, and so that should be really interesting to see exactly how Star Wars decided to do. I mean, it seems like they did this all in bulk. They said, you know what? It seems like they're not going to go ahead and bring out another Star Wars Battlefront for a while. So they decided to do it in bulk and add new downloadable content that'll last for the next 2 years. More than likely, they're going to come out with a new Battlefront once Xbox Scarlet is set to be released at the end of 2020. In other video game news, the new DLC for Call of Duty is out. And so many gamers were upset because at the very beginning of this, actually the day that the DLC came out, it was nothing but night vision modes. All of the maps were all at night, and it was annoying because nobody really, like, it was camper central. Every single person that was playing was camping. Now, camping means in the video game world, in multiplayer and Call of Duty games, you know, shootouts, things like that. Camping basically means that you stay in one place and you don't move. You just wait for them to come to you and you shoot them as soon as they walk in. Now, that's well and fine. I regret to say that I'm a camper. I tend to be that way, but I'm more of a sniper. I have to stay in one place to make sure that I pick guys off that are coming out of buildings or anything like that. But in this case, it's all night vision mode. You can't really see them unless you use a night vision scope, in which case they can actually see you because the night vision scope can actually flash. So that was an unfair advantage to a lot of us, and it got boring. So after so many complaints from players, they decided to take the night vision mode off. However, because Activision decided to make Call of Duty completely free, all DLCs are completely free, they should have actually said that it was freemium, because here's where it gets tricky. They have battle packages that you have to go ahead and purchase. Now, when you purchase these battle packages, what happens is that there's a lot of tiers that need to be unlocked. And when you buy those packages, they offer you COD points. And with that, you're able to unlock these packages and unlock what comes with them. Now, the maps are free, yes. And a couple of the guns are free, yes. And there's a couple of other charms and things like that that are free. But the majority of the battle pack is not. You have to actually purchase from the Call of Duty store, these battle packs in order to unlock them. Activision, you're very, very intelligent. You got your way one way or the other. You did away with Season Pass, but you still found a way to still get your money out of this game in more downloadable content. Activision, I can't blame you for it. It's a good game. I've enjoyed it. I've been playing it. And honestly, I'm going to continue to play it, because it's an awesome game. That's it for the Xander Effect. Thank you so much for watching. I leave you now with J-SUNN's music video, Vibin. I'll see you next time.
It's a vibe, y'all. Y'all gotta feel that. Top down. All white Porsche. Easy breezy. Check me out. Beam me up, we vibin'. See them colors, they vibin'. Mixed it up, combined it. Off them dolphins, we flyin'. Beam me up, we vibin'. See them colors, they vibin'. Mix it up, combined it. Off them dolphins, we flyin'. Feel sharp like a blade though. Need fire, got that fuego. Halo, but a nigga ain't an angel. Lay low with the zips in the Range Rover. Blue Angel, two baddies, yeah, I killed that. Go hard when I do it, make it feel like. Got bags of the ice, call them chill packs. Ice cream, soft serve, come and get that. Sliding down Sunset, sativa, she blowing. Mountains lined up, it's raining and snowing. She dropped that. It's designer, she gon' drop that. She dropped that. Herb, got pills, smoke fire, go chill. We lit, let's sip, can't do it like this. She dropped that. It's designer, she gon' drop that. Ice cause your boy really feel that. Mary Jane on the back when I hit that. Come through, kick back like the kickback. Samsung, iPhone, catch your contact. Relax, go ahead. Drop them draws, bring her up. So girls are ball, floating the clouds. Yeah, we vibing. You see me, I see you, guess who's hiding? Mixed up the purple and pink, we tried it. We in the spot, guess we vibing. Beam me up, we vibing. See them
thanks a lot for watching this episode of the Xander Effect. Now, if you like this video or any of my other videos, here's a couple right here. See? Right here. Right here. Go ahead and click on those to view some of my past videos and make sure to subscribe because it's awesome. See you next time on the Xander Effect. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram.